J. Douglas Boles, we call him Doug Boles, is currently the president of IndyCar and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He joins us now on the Payless Liquors hotline. Welcome to the month of May, Mr. Boles. How you doing?
I'm pretty excited. I was really excited yesterday, and then when the clock switched over to actually May, it said you just get ramped up a little bit more. We're ready. We are ready to go. So yeah, Christmas Day is almost here.
Yeah, we've had some great re-entries today, Doug. Mark's been pulling out some of the best finishes in 500 history. Let's start just ticket sales. Where are we at? Seems like we are trending in a great direction to rival even the 100th running as we sit here on May 1st. Where are we at ticket-wise?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what, I think we're definitely within a couple weeks of having grandstand tickets sold out. We're well under 10,000 remaining of those 232,000. So from that standpoint, I think it's going to feel like 2016. The difference may be we may have a few less people in the infield, although if we actually get to a grandstand sellout, that could cause those GA tickets to go a little bit quicker. So we're really close, and I'm looking forward to being able to say those are sold out, and then I look forward to answering the question that always comes after that related to the local delay.
Doug, I know for me it'll be my first time going to the 500 this year. Don't crucify me for that, but I will say, should I just go to the Snake Pit blind? Should someone tell me give me a heads up, or what are your thoughts on experiencing that? I have no idea, by the way, what it is, what it entails. I haven't Googled anything. Should I just go and experience it organically? Well, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I think you should. One thing I always tell people that have never been to the 500 before, to go with somebody that's been, because it is such it can be intimidating, right? 350,000 people likely there this year for the 500. It's a big place. It's really crowded with people, and just having somebody to walk you around and help you understand what you're going to see. The Snake Pit is. If you like to people watch, and maybe some people that make bad decisions watch, it's a great place to go. And if you like EDM music, it's certainly a place to go. And it's part of what makes the Speedway so fun is there's just so much going on in those, through the whole facility, and you can see just about everything you want to see, and it makes the people watching just as much a part of it as watching the 33 drivers.
I'll make Kevin Bowen my chaperone.
Oh, boy. Well,
there we go.
I might be in the debauchery with or without you.
Doug has my phone number in his back pocket if he needs to give me a call. So. Doug, what are you most excited about for this edition this year?
Well, I think for me, it's kind of the same every year. I love when the gates open, especially on race day, but even when we open up next week to get ready for practice for the IndyCar Grand Prix. But what I really love is, seeing the families come in and the people, the groups of people come in that have done it year over year over year, and just how much that means to them. So for me, just looking at people's faces and seeing the smiles and hearing the stories, I love it when people stop me to tell me, how long they've come, who introduced them. I mean, it's really what makes the Speedway so special. So I hear that all the time, whenever, even when we're not at the racetrack and I run into people, but when you actually get to hear the story at the racetrack, that's pretty special. And then in terms of the event itself, all kinds of great storylines. Can Joseph Newgarden win 3 in a row? Never been done in the 108 previous runnings. 5 drivers have tried to win 3 in a row, and nobody's been able to do that. Elio's still trying to win that 5th 500 to be the first person ever to do that. The new hybrid units in the cars, which you can't see as a fan, but I talked to Will Power for a long time yesterday, and Will thinks that the deployment of that hybrid power, which will give the drivers about 60 to 70 extra horsepower for about 4 or 5 seconds each time they deploy it, that could be a real strategy thing, Will thinks, during the race. So we could see some interesting use of that to get, for drivers to pass. So that's going to be interesting as well, I think.
That voice. He is the president not only of IndyCar, but of course IMS. He is Doug Boles. The month of May is here. We'll continue to play some great re-entries from some of the best finishes in 500 history throughout the show. Doug, things that would keep me up at night. A few weeks back, I'm sitting there watching. I'm seeing Joseph Newgarden honored, among others, at the White House. And at one point, President Trump says, I might have to get there this year. I think Roger Penske mentioned you have an open invite. Any update on the President of the United States potentially attending the 500?
No update on the President of the United States potentially attending the 500. If sitting president's never been to the Indy 500, and that would be kind of cool in its own right. It does come with a lot of complications. Forget about the political side of it. It comes with all kinds of logistical complications that if he is going to come, I'd like to know sooner rather than later so that we can start thinking about how that impacts us. He came to the Daytona 500. I did go down and meet with the folks at Daytona a couple of weeks ago, really to understand from them how operationally what the challenges were. What are some of the things that they would have done differently to do everything they can not to impact the customer experience. So I feel like at least I've done a little of that homework if in fact that does happen. So we just continue to wait, and right now I'm just focused on let's get the track open and start running, and then if the president decides he's going to come, we'll figure out how to manage it.
How would you even describe what a security plan would look like? And yes, the impact on 300,000 people if indeed that were to happen.
Yeah, first of all, I don't really know how you describe it at our place. So even Daytona, it's 105,000 people versus 350,000 people. They have 7 gates basically. We have 20 gates with 200 lanes. There's a whole. So if in fact that happens, I will do everything I can to encourage, Secret Service to think of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as a city, not as a venue, so that we could limit where those impacts take place. But at some level, when any high-level dignitaries, a president, vice president, some of the secretaries, when they decide to come to your event, you lose a little bit of control in terms of your ability to control access, ingress, egress, a lot of those things. So it'll be interesting to see if it happens, and it'll definitely be something that'll we're going to do everything we can to make sure that it doesn't impact our customer. And for me, I want to keep we don't really want politics involved at all in the Indy 500. It's what makes it so special. A whole bunch of us from all over the world come together to celebrate Memorial Day and celebrate the drivers there, and then we just got to make sure that we keep that tenor around the event as well.
Doug Boles joining us here on the Fan Morning Show. How's it going with your dual roles now, in charge of IndyCar and the Speedway itself? How's that going?
It's been an interesting challenge. Unfortunately, we have great people at IndyCar and we have great people at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that make the transition a little bit easier for me. I think it's just a larger constituency base. The emails have tripled and the phone calls and meetings. The one thing I've noticed, and I didn't notice it even during the open test, the thing I love to do the most is be with the fans and encourage the fans and hear the fan stories so that we can make the experience better. And I've been able to do less of that just because I've got some other things going on as it relates to IndyCar. My weekend, for example, this weekend, I leave today for the Barber race, which is this weekend. I'll be there today and tomorrow. I fly back tomorrow so that I can be here for the mini marathon on Saturday morning and the beginning of our Rev event on Saturday night. Then I get back on a plane and head back to Barber for the race on Sunday, and then either Sunday, depending on how the race ends and how long I need to stay for tech reasons or whatever, I'll either try and fly back on Sunday or I get in the car and drive back Sunday night so I can be here Monday morning to get ready for next week. So it's a lot more travel for sure, and just trying to juggle 2 hats at once has definitely limited the sleep. And I wasn't a big sleeper anyway, but certainly now it makes it a little harder.
I just know you wake up with that press suit and perfectly knotted tie every morning. That's how that works, man. Always looking great.
It would make life a lot easier if that was the case, but unfortunately, it's not. I have learned now, though, to kind of think about the night before what I'm going to wear and have it all laid out, so I don't get paralyzed when I walk in the closet and trying to figure out what works. So I do try and get ahead of that.
Doug, we'll end with this. We know you're a busy man this morning, so thank you very much for the time to kick off May. We are playing these re-entries today of some of the greatest finishes in 500 history. If I had to pin you down for just one, your greatest finish would be what?
Well, obviously you can pick things like Al Unser Jr. and you can pick things like Rick Mears and some of those great ones. For me, maybe the greatest finish. And I think it's because he finally won the Indy 500 was Tony Kanaan picking up his first win in 2013, and just how much our crowd went crazy. But to your point, there are so many of them, and that's cool that you're going through them. But that would be the one to me, and maybe it's because it was I was chief operating officer. I knew I was going to end up being president of the Speedway a couple months later, and I had such a great relationship with TK, and he loves this place like our fans love this place. So for me, that was just a special finish. He and Ryan Hunter-Reay battling it out there at the end, and then TK picking up that victory.
Doug, thanks for your time. Open invitation here all month long. Anytime you want, anything you need, we'll be here as your partner, and we appreciate you, man.
You got it, and you know my number, so call anytime you need something.